Hi guys, I hope you are fine. Yes, Santos again. So today we're going to look at our tutorial 7, which is based on the Phillips curve framework. All right. So let's see how does it look like. Very good. Question 1 says policymakers like to smooth fluctuation in unemployment around its natural rate. Doing so requires that one knows what the natural rate is and why is locating the natural rate of unemployment difficult to do in practice. Okay, there we go. Very good. In one of our previous tutorials, where we were talking about the labor market, we tried to know in one of the questions what would be the impact of having inflation neither rising nor falling. And we said, in other words, we're trying to know whether having inflation not changing over time, would it mean that unemployment will be zero, or will we have the unemployment in its at its lowest rate? And the answer was no. Why? Because we always have the natural rate of unemployment. That means even if um, inflation is not varying over time, is not changing over time, is neither falling nor rising, we will always have the natural rate of unemployment. So, in other words, trying to define in this way the natural rate of unemployment, we will basically say that this is the unemployment rate of the long run, whereby there is no a tendency of inflation to rise nor to fall. So this is how basically we can define unemployment rate and natural rate of unemployment in this sense. Okay, I would say um, natural rate of unemployment in this case is the long run unemployment at which there is no tendency for there is no tendency for inflation to rise or fall. Very good. So the second part of it is that how would it be difficult to put this or to locate an employment rate natural unemployment rate in practice? The thing is, in the theory, you can even go through the Phillips curve and we look at it. Why? Because it's already depicted in this curve or in this framework, and it is already explained the relationship between inflation and unemployment and the natural rate of unemployment, which is negative, and it is there in the theory. However, in the practice, we know that the labor market does not really only depend on expected inflation or price level. It also depends on the market forces, or it also depends on other factors that are not captured in that model. For example, we can have people who are unemployed due to the frictional unemployment, all right, or are they unemployed due to the change in the structure of the economy. All right, all of these factors are not captured or are not controlled for when we go to the Phillips curve or when we go to the theory. All right, but then in the practice they are there. So in this case, it's not possible to, if we cannot control for all of these factors, it's not possible or it's not easy to locate this natural rate of unemployment in the real world or in practice. So we can just say that it is not it is difficult to locate to locate the natural rate of unemployment because the labor market does not only depend on inflation, yet it depends also on other factors. Very good. Question 2. What does it say? Okay. Workers at a local mining company are paid 500 per hour, and they've incorporated a 20% annual raise in their contracts to account for expected inflation. How would an expected inflation of 30%, how an expected inflation of 30% will affect the real wage and the unemployment rate? Very good. Here we have something interesting, which is the expected inflation, all right? And we have this raise of 20%. This suggests that the wage setters, all right, when they defined this annual raise of 20%, this was basically based on the expected inflation, all right? In other words, in that period, they expected inflation to be 10% or 15% or roughly 20%, all right? However, when we arrive in that period, we find that in other words, we did have here some sort of under predicted inflation, and we see that no, the inflation that we expected or we predicted, basically we under predicted it. Instead of having 20% or 15% to make the real wage either increasing or at least offsetting, all right, or balancing, we have an expected inflation of 30%. What does this mean? All right. Okay, recalling that real wage, let me just write the question. What is the impact of an expected inflation of 30%? Okay, on real wage and unemployment. Very good. Very good. So here we need to recall that one, that the real wage is equal to nominal wage divided by price. This is the first thing, all right? If our expected inflation is less than our let's say the real inflation, which is unexpected one, this suggests that our real wage is going to be less, all right, or is going to be less than what we have predicted. In other words, having an expected inflation greater than what we predicted, this lowers basically the real wage, all right? So we can say the first effect is that in the short run, in the short run, there will be a decrease in real wage. This is basically due to the fact that real wage is equal to nominal wage divided by the price level. And this price level is the one that we underpredicted, all right? Is the one that we underpredicted. So in other words, this is going to trump the 20%, all right, of raise that was calculated based on the predicted inflation, which according to this prediction was around, I can say it was around 10 to 15, 18%, or summarizing, it was supposed to be lower than what we are having now, which was unexpected. Very good. This is in the short run. Okay, on unemployment, we know that based on Phillips curve framework, there is a negative relationship between inflation and unemployment. Therefore, having higher level of inflation, although unexpected, we will have some sort of lower levels of unemployment. This is basically the theory. So also in the short run, unemployment will decrease. Very good. However, when we look at the long run, what is going to happen is that since we already have these higher levels of inflation, workers are going to demand higher wages in order for them to adjust for this inflation, right? Or they are going to expect inflation to rise and rise and rise, and hence they're going to demand for real wage. Or summarizing this, we can just say that in the long run, the workers are going to adjust their expectation, right? If they are adjusting their expectations, hence unemployment is going to increase. All right, it is going to increase up until its natural rate of up until its natural rate. Very good. So we can just say in the long run, unemployment increases until its natural rate. Very good. So question 3, let's see. It says explain the following equations. I will just copy this and paste. Explain the following equations. Very good. I'll say A. Very good. So this is just a matter of description. We describe what does the equation mean, right? What does the equation mean? What does the equation mean? So in this case, we can just say that this is the unemployment rate as a function of growth, all right, and the natural rate of growth that is needed to, for the current population, all right. We can just say the unemployment rate has a function of growth function of growth okay, gyt, very good, is a function. Then the natural rate of growth that is needed for current population. Very good. So the other one is based on inflation. I'll also copy it and paste. All right, and here we will have basically the inflation is a function of the expected inflation and the gap the gap, or let me just say, put in this way, the unemployment gap. All right, the inflation rate is a function of the expected inflation rate. All of this in the same period, because you can see this T basically means the same period, right? The same period. All right, in the same period. And negative related to the unemployment gap. Unemployment gap is denoted by UT minus UN. All right, that means is the unemployment in period T minus unemployment in period in period N. And alpha, which is this one, right? Can just say alpha is basically, it shows the strength, and it shows the strength of the relationship. Or we can just say it is the elasticity given the unemployment gap. All right, thank you. Did you like our tutorial? Please join our channel and sign in so that you receive the notification. And you can just drop us your questions on santosnekasbila@gmail.com. Bye bye. See you in the next tutorial. Bye.